Tara. Tom, yourself, what are you bringing? What takes time for you when it comes to
Takes
recruitment?
time. I think building a diversity of sources. It's going in there. It's utilizing Indeed. Absolutely, it's utilizing LinkedIn. It's utilizing the agencies. It's that diversity of sourcing, as Tara just mentioned. Fish where the fish are. You're not going to find the software developer the same place you're going to find someone working in marketing. So make sure that you're changing that brand piece. And I love the piece there, Tara, about the branding. Absolutely, it's got to be authentic, consistent. And if you're using the LinkedIn pages, perfect for companies. So whether you're using agencies, boards, open as many doors as you can. As I said before, yes, you want to respond to all candidates, but you've got to make sure that all those channels are open for people to come in, because they're going to come from a variety of different sources.
No, it's so important, really, like that. And I think, people can fundamentally focus on one source because it's working, and then when things don't work out, they don't know where else to
Yeah,
turn. But really,
and
it should be,
particularly on the hard to
yeah,
fill roles. I remember
yeah,
with when I was at Fitbit, trying to fill roles in China and Singapore and in the Far East. You can't look the same places. You've got to look in different places. So it's going, again, going where the fish are fished.
yeah. I appreciate that, Tom. Alan, on the Indeed point of view, what's something that you guys do that takes a bit of time to implement?
Yeah, to be honest, it's stepping on Tara's toes in terms of her points in the brand.
The fight begins.
I know it's very aligned in terms of what she said. To be honest,
Yeah,
it's a big piece of what we recommend, and because again, a lot of the same points. If your brand isn't updated, it puts people off. But on the other side of it, from our perspective, I look at it from Indeed and Glassdoor's perspective, because they're our sister company, and we all work as one essentially. But from the review piece and the engagement of job seekers or current employees on your brand, and how over time you have to build up that engagement.
yeah.
So it is quite slow. It can be a slow process getting your own employees even to engage with it. Can be quite a slow process. So we encourage alerts and weekly, monthly alerts, anniversary alerts, stuff like that, to get them to engage and leave reviews, because that can have a big impact on the level of engagement from prospective employees. Like I think actually a funny couple of funny points where Glassdoor and LinkedIn have pretty much the same data in terms of the actual cost savings for hires is about 50% less if you actually invest in this piece on your brand. And then overall, about 83% of candidates and job seekers will actually review a company and look at companies' reviews to say before actually following through and committing to engaging to interview. So it's such an important piece to have up to date, showing the day in the life of, and why you'd want to work there in the first place, especially with the opportunities out there. There's so much competition for talent now that they've always got options. So you want to make sure you, not necessarily stand out, but you have a good, honest picture of yourself with your brand.
No,
I think,
thanks for
Alan,
that. Yeah.
sorry,
Go for it, Tom.
man.
Sorry. No, go for it.
I think with unemployment rates as they are at 3%, if you don't have that right and you're not showing who you are from the start, there are so many sources for that, as you say. All the socials, the LinkedIn company pages, Glassdoor are all there to try and show companies what they are really like. So it's really important to get a handle on that. I worked at companies before where the Glassdoor score was terrible, and it's your responsibility then to try and get those scores up to be reflective of what your unit is actually like.
Yeah, yeah. And as I always say, like, put some thought into it as well. People like to list their benefits and say if it's a legal requirement, it's not a benefit. It's nearly the standard process that people put in. So yeah, think outside the box when you're creating that information. But yeah, it's so important these days.
No, definitely. I think there's always a motivation for someone to leave a bad review, but there's never the same level of motivation to leave a good one, and that requires, as you said, Alan, the company needs to get involved and step in and kind of promote it internally, promote the brand, and make sure that they are doing that, because it's such a travesty. Sometimes we work with companies where they have bad reviews, but the company's not a bad company at all, but just like those few bad apples have left a few bad reviews, and it might only be two or three, and that's all it takes is a few, 5 or 6 good ones, and then you're bringing the score back up and everything's a bit rosier again. Like, so a very, very important thing, and it's free to use and it's easy to use as well. Like, so that's the important factor too,